Hey beautiful people, it's time for our first official garden gathering weekly tour here at the Black Barn. I'm going to walk you through some of the things that we've managed to accomplish with our 2023 spring cleanup, what plants we've got planted, what's popping through the ground. I hope you join us every week to get updates on what we're managing to accomplish for the season, and most of all, how the plants are doing and how they're growing. I hope you join me every week for updates. Now let's get to the tour. So over here, I decided, like I said, we have a really hard time getting grass to grow in this front yard. So what I decided to do was take this section over here, and I have put down cardboard on top of the grafter. I had weed-eated it very low to the ground. Then I installed cardboard on top of that. Then I have mulch on top of that. So I no longer have to maintain a lawn on this side, and it looks much better. I've put mulch on top so it can be used as a walkway and a walk path around the garden beds that I have in place. But I will take a step over there and show you what I've got going on as far as the beds go. So up front here in this first square bed, it is a 4x4, 12 inches high or deep, and I have potatoes in there right now, and I may end up planting some companion plants with the potatoes as well. I haven't decided yet. And then I have some potatoes in those two flower boxes, and I'm kind of experimenting with the potatoes this year, doing some in raised beds, in boxes, and in the ground to see which does better. These two front small raised garden beds are strawberries, and I will show you a close up. I've got 4 or 5 strawberries in each of those. And then this longer bed here is also strawberries. And I believe I put 25 strawberry plants in there. And to the largest bed in the back, it has just been prepped, and I don't have anything in it yet. And I'm using the hugelkultur method here, and most of my garden beds we've used that, where you just put lawn debris, sticks, logs, leaves, grass, whatever, at the bottom of the bed, and then the remaining you would put your compost or your dirt garden soil on top, and that saves a lot of money on not filling it up with just soil. So let's move over here to this garden bed that John and I built out of some leftover metal that he had from installing it on his garage last year. So we're using what we had in place of buying new. And in this bed here on the corner, I also planted potatoes. That flower box has potatoes. That is oregano that I planted last year, and it's coming back. That is a yellow or white rose bush. This spot here I'm leaving open for some more herbs. I have opal basil and cinnamon basil that I'm going to put in there. And then next to that is another rose bush, and those rose bushes have been here several years. And then next to that rose bush, you'll have to forgive the sun, it's so bright, and my chickens in the background. That is sweet mint. Again, that was planted last year, and it's coming back this year, thank goodness. That flower box has potatoes in it. And then on the right hand corner there, I have also planted potatoes. And I will get down really close, and if you look right there, they're starting to pop through. So I do have some potatoes coming through. And then on the other side of this area, I have what is primarily where I have my annuals and my perennial flowers that come back through. And I may add to it a little bit this year, but you can see that my hostas are starting to pop through. I don't really have any annuals in my flower pots as of yet. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in there. There's another hosta flower pot with nothing in it. Another hosta, and then behind the hostas are hollyhocks that I planted from seed last year. They did not get flowers last year, so I'm hoping they come through. And if I remember correctly, I believe they're black hollyhocks, so that'll be pretty interesting to see. Another hosta, and those two flower pots back there were ferns. I think they're dead, so they won't be coming back this year. And nothing in these two very pretty Mexican painted flower pots, and my bunny rabbit flower pot. But more cleanup and work to do to get that area finalized. But let me walk over here and give you a shot looking downward, and it will progress as the season progresses. Okay, and on the outside of that area we have a very extra long raised garden bed, again made out of leftover metal that John and I had from his garage build. And I am guessing with the corner and the length down the pathway, there's probably 30-35 feet of raised garden bed space that is approximately 3 feet wide. And as of right now, there is nothing in this bed except for at the very end I have some strawberries from last year, and we'll go take a look at those. So these are from last year, and they're doing very well. I think I may dig those up, transplant them, and put them in that raised bed over there, along with some additional strawberries, because I love strawberries. And then that grapevine there is from last year as well, and it looks like it's sprouting through nice and healthy this spring. And this trellis there, I actually just redid those because they were bent over and set up like a hoop at the end here, and it was very non-functional last year, so I decided to cut them off, stand them up, and put some stakes in them. And we'll use that for the grapevine wreath, and there was one on each of the 4 corners of our bed. So I've been working on that, and I've got one left to do. So on the other side here, again, repurposed metal from John's garage build on our second very large raised garden bed, same dimensions. At some point I may try to make these a little more aesthetically pleasing, but they are what they are right now, very functional, sturdy, and they work out really well. So nothing in this side of the garden bed as yet. And that is my one last trellis there that I need to finish, standing it upright and putting supports on the back. And I may plant cucumbers or cucamelons or something like that up that trellis, and the one over here on this end as well. Okay, so something I have been doing as far as our soil. So last year we brought in compost from Holy Cow Soils, and it did very well last year. My tomato plants and the fruits and vegetables that I put in here just flourished beyond belief. So they did very well, but I wanted to continue to build the soil. So on this side over here, since December, I have been bringing out 5-gallon buckets of chicken manure, adding it to the top layer of the soil in order to build more nutrients and a stronger soil for your plants. But that should be giving a jump start on the nitrogen when I do transplant my tomatoes out here. And on this side, I did not use chicken manure, so I may be doing a test here to see which side does better, because I plan on doing tomatoes in both. But I have been putting grass clippings as I mow this spring onto this side. Again, another good source of nitrogen. So I may just complete a test comparison of these two sides to see if or which one does better, or if they just do the same. So before the chicken manure and the grass clippings were put on top last fall, I put a layer of mulched up leaves on top, so that is a good source of carbon. So I'm hoping those two things help continue to build a strong soil source for our plants. Over here on this side, I still have a grass spot left, but I have put dirt all along the inside of this garden bed and the perimeter of that portion of the yard. And then there is about a 18-inch to 2-foot wide walking path of mulch, so you can get to the dirt easily. And I haven't decided what I'm planting over here, but I have lots of things in mind. So I'm even flirting with the idea of adding more beds on this side to get rid of the grass totally, just so I don't have to maintain it. But on upcoming garden gatherings, I'll talk about what I did decide to plant in these areas. I'm very excited to get the seeds inserted or the plants transplanted and see what actually grows and flourishes for the year. And underneath this tree area, I believe I am going to plant some chard seeds. I'm very interested in trying chard this year. I didn't do any last year. I actually tried to do some lettuce last year and it didn't work out very well. So I think I'm going to plant chard underneath this tree and underneath that tree over there. So guys, that was our first weekly walkthrough garden gathering for Black Barn Hobby Farms 2023 garden season. We plan to do one every week throughout the season, so check back in weekly to see what's happening, what we finished, what we've planted, what's growing, what's not, special projects that we're working on, cleanup efforts, all the fun stuff. So thanks for joining, and we will talk to you on the next garden gathering. I love you.